Now that is a roomy trunk, 16.3 cubic inch. This is the 2014 Chrysler 300 all-wheel drive. And you know what? We're going to do an up close and personal coming next on the Fast Lane car. This is the Pentastar V6, 292 horsepower, 260 pound-feet of torque. And let me show you something. Yes, I know it's obnoxious that I pull these off, but there's a reason. Pentastar V6 in this car is very smooth and very quiet, and one of the reasons why it's quiet is I have never seen this much sound deadening material used in one of these shrouds. There's even more foam right here, and it kind of helps the engine purr like a kitten. Chrysler absolutely loves this setup, so much so that they put it in over 1 million of their vehicles. I'm talking about the V6 here. This engine is hooked up to an 8-speed automatic transmission and all-wheel drive. Chrysler, in their wisdom, thought to themselves, how can we possibly add more chrome to a vehicle? And they found a way. Between finding little spots in the bumper where they could slap it in there, adding even more to the front end, and then, of course, other splashes of chrome here and there. I'm not a big chrome fan. I always find that older vehicles, say in the 60s and even the early 70s, much nicer with lots of chrome. But it works in this case because this is a vehicle built for people who like to have a little bit of bling. The one place that they kind of drop the ball are in these less than inspirational wheels. I really wish they had something bigger, louder, brighter. As for the rest of it, well, you've seen it before because this vehicle's been around for a long time in this guise. Fortunately, it's still handsome and a little gangster. You're like a pimp driving this car. And I don't just mean a pimp in terms of the word pimp, hey, I'm cool. I mean, I want to dole out something to the people. I want to give something. I want to ride with hot chicks. This is a good car for that. The riding character of this car is pimp-like smooth. I want to wear a big hat, have a cane, big shoes. Ugh, love it. It's quiet, serene. Well, you're not going to get a lot out of a V6 that's built for quiet and comfort. On the road, when you really wind it up, it sounds pretty good. There are two types of people for this interior. The ones who like it because it's comfortable and the ones who like it because it's classy but not too flashy. The third person would be me. After sitting in vehicles like the Buick LaCrosse and even the Lincoln MKS, which this sort of competes against, I think that this is starting to age just a little bit. In fact, the whole car is. I think it's kind of on the way out in terms of styling. Recently, I sat in the Chrysler 200, brand new, very impressive interior, very modern, lots of good-looking woods, excellent balance to an interior. And then I looked at this and thought, you know what, this is kind of getting up there in age. But once again, if you're one of those two types of people who likes comfort or very mellow style, this is the place to be. The seats are fantastic. The foam that they use all throughout the cabin is excellent, very good for sound deadening, and very comfortable to place your elbow on. It's something I like to do. The rest of it, with the raised stitching, the instrumentation, buttons, everything is well laid out. The screen is massive. The entire package works really well for that type of person who's going to be in this car for long periods of time. there is something in here that I really like, and that is the heated and cooled cup holders. I'm one of those guys who likes to have a hot cup of coffee stay hot and a cold drink stay cold. And granted, it's not super hot or super cold, but it works. And I don't know, it's just kind of one of those nerdy little things that I think is very cool, and I wish all cars had it. As I mentioned before, lots of space in the trunk, but there are a couple things you should know about it. One is, if you select the Dr. Dre Beats audio system, it's $995, but it puts out 552 watts with the amp, so that's actually pretty impressive for a stock system, and it sounds pretty good. But more importantly, to me, you lose a little bit of room in the trunk with the subwoofer. It actually takes up quite a bit of space over there in the corner. Fortunately, on the other side, they made some good use out of the trunk by having this neat little catch here for items that can weigh up to 50 pounds. It's just, I love that type of thinking about the little details to make everyday life a little bit better. Not that much fun to drive, frankly. It's not meant for that. You want fun? You get the SRT version of this car. Acceleration is pretty good. The V6 spools up quickly, even at high altitude where it loses quite a bit of horsepower. I kind of wish it had like 310 horsepower or something like that. Having around 290 horsepower isn't too bad. Just wish it had a little bit more oomph. But off the line, it just has really good grunt. Backseat space isn't as good as it should be. This is a big vehicle, and it competes in a class where backseat space is really the main thrust of the whole thing. I mean, with my big boy shoes on, I'm about 6'1", and I just fit behind myself. But if you get the $1,595 dual pane sunroof option, you lose some headspace, and frankly speaking, yeah, see, I lean my head back here, I'm actually rubbing against this, the sunroof, because it makes a bulge that comes down, or a little bit in the back. So headroom isn't as good as some of the competitors. Bummer. The all-wheel drive 300C starts at around $39,000. This one, as equipped, is $45,000 and change, and you can easily get it up to nearly $50,000 if you slap on everything. So the question is, in this case, do I think it's worth nearly $46,000? I think it's a little overpriced for what we're getting. I think that it's a little bit old. I was kind of hoping for about $2,000 less, frankly. But I can say this, in terms of a smooth driver, excellent freeway cruiser, and lots of features, and being pretty damn efficient for an all-wheel drive vehicle, this Chrysler 300C does pretty well. For the Fast Lane Car, this is Nathan Adlin. See you next time.